In a world where stories fade into dust, there is a place where they are kept alive. Here, in these endless halls, voices from centuries past whisper once more, and forgotten worlds open their doors to you. Welcome to Audible Archives, where every word endures and every tale finds its voice.
Before we step back into the mist, take a moment to like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Audible Archives so you never lose your place in the dream. So far, the prophecy has stirred from its long slumber. Shadows have sharpened, alliances have been tested, and each step forward has pulled our heroes deeper into a web where truth and illusion blur. The awakening is no longer a whisper, it's a force pressing against the walls of reality. Now, in Chapter 11 of Mistwoven Legends. The awakening dream, the mists will part to reveal a truth no one is ready to face, and the cost of knowing it may be more than anyone can bear. Written by Raul. Narrated by Nyara. The dream is watching. Chapter 11. Whispers of Rebellion. Reverie had always believed that the realm of dreams was a place of solace, a refuge from the waking world's relentless chaos, a world that could be shaped by the will, crafted with the delicate precision of a dream weaver's touch. But the more she walked this path, this dangerous path, teetering between the known and the abyssal unknown, the more she realized how fragile that belief was. Every moment she spent resisting the abyss, she felt the pull of its darkness grow stronger, its whispers more insistent. And now, with Serena's words heavy on her heart, a new thought stirred within her. What if the abyss was not something to be fought against? What if it was something to be embraced? The more she thought on it, the more her curiosity grew. Could the abyss truly be the key to unlocking a power beyond her wildest dreams? And if it was, what did that mean for her? It was then that she first heard the rumors, whispers that danced through the shadows of Dormiria, carried by the most trusted of the lucid whispers, those whose names Reverie had heard only in hushed conversations behind closed doors. There were talks of a hidden faction, dreamweavers who, rather than shying away from the abyss, believed that its power could lead to something far greater. These dreamweavers had gone beyond the boundaries of tradition, rejecting the council's doctrines and embracing the darkness in an effort to transcend the limitations of their art. The very thought made Reverie's blood run cold. The abyss had never been seen as something that could be controlled, let alone something that could offer enlightenment. It was the ultimate corruption, the consuming darkness that twisted the mind and the soul. She had witnessed its destructive power firsthand, seen the remnants of those who had fallen to it. So why would anyone choose to walk toward it willingly? It wasn't until one fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and cast the city of Dormiria in a deep, velvety twilight, that Reverie found herself standing at the threshold of a truth that would change everything. She had heard the whispers often enough now, rumors of a secret meeting held in the deepest recesses of Dormiria's forgotten catacombs, where the factions of the old dream weavers had once practiced their most dangerous and forbidden techniques. No one spoke openly of these gatherings, no one who came back ever spoke at all, and yet the calls to Reverie had become impossible to ignore. The night was thick with anticipation, as Reverie moved silently through the narrow streets of Dormiria's lower districts. The air smelled of damp stone and the faint tang of incense, the kind that burned in rituals long abandoned by the mainstream dream-weaving traditions. Reverie's footsteps were quiet, but her heart pounded loudly in her chest. She wasn't sure why she was here, why she was allowing herself to be drawn into the web of the unknown, but something about this hidden faction, this rebellion, pulled at her. It was as if they held the answers to all the questions she had yet to ask. She found herself at an unassuming door, tucked away behind a veil of ivy, the markings on its surface barely visible to the untrained eye. The door was aged, but not forgotten. Someone had placed it here with a purpose. Reverie hesitated for a moment, her mind racing with doubt. What was she about to do? What if this was a trap? What if, by stepping into this world, she was dooming herself to the same fate that Serena had warned her about? But the pull was stronger than her fear, and before she could second-guess herself, she reached for the door. The room beyond was dimly lit, the flickering of candle flames casting long shadows across a circle of figures gathered around a central altar. There was an unmistakable hum in the air, an energy unlike any Reverie had ever felt. It was not the familiar calm of the dreamscape, nor the crackling tension of a nightmare. This was something darker, something more primal, alive in a way that made her skin crawl. The dream weavers who filled the circle were not like the disciplined members of the council. They wore no robes, no symbols to signify their rank. They were ordinary men and women, young and old alike, all of them cloaked in the same shadowy energy that clung to the walls. But their eyes, those eyes, shone with a strange intensity, as if they had seen something others had not, something that had opened their minds in ways that should have been impossible. Reverie's presence did not go unnoticed. The moment she stepped inside, all eyes turned toward her, sharp and piercing, as though they could see straight into her soul. One of the figures, a tall woman with black hair cascading like a waterfall down her back, stepped forward, her expression unreadable. "You've come," the woman said, her voice soft but commanding. "I wondered when we would find one who still held the courage to seek us out." Reverie's breath caught in her throat. The woman's words, though kind, carried an undercurrent of something far more dangerous, far more alluring. It was as though the very air around her was charged with a force she could neither comprehend nor resist. I heard rumors," Reverie began hesitantly. "Whispers about those who embrace the abyss." A knowing smile spread across the woman's lips. "Ah, so you've heard the stories. You wonder if it's true, don't you? You wonder if we truly believe that the abyss holds the key to something more, something beyond the limits of the dream. You want to know if we can transcend the boundaries, if we can become more than mere dream weavers." Reverie nodded slowly, her eyes scanning the room, taking in the faces of those gathered here. She could feel the tension, the promise of something greater, something beyond her understanding. The woman studied her for a moment before responding. "We are the Abyssal Weavers, Reverie. We are the ones who have chosen to stand apart, to embrace the truth that the abyss holds. We are not afraid of its power. We do not shy away from it. And unlike those who cower in fear, we have learnt to wield it, to reshape it to our will." Reverie's heart raced. She felt the weight of the woman's words, the gravity of what she was saying. "But how? How do you control it without losing yourself?" The woman's smile grew darker, a glint of something dangerous in her eyes. "We don't control it, child. We become it. We learn its ways. We understand its nature. And in doing so, we transcend the limits that bind you, the boundaries that the Council has placed around you. The abyss is not a curse, Reverie. It is a path to enlightenment, a path to true power. And if you wish to walk it, you are welcome here." The words hung heavy in the air, and Reverie felt herself torn between two opposing forces, the duty she had sworn to the Council and the burning curiosity that stirred within her. Could it really be possible? Could the abyss truly be the key to something greater, something beyond what she had always known? Before she could respond, the woman extended a hand toward her. "Come," she said, her voice low but full of promise. "If you wish to know the truth, then you must take the first step. Join us, embrace what we have embraced. You will not regret it, but know this, once you step onto this path, there is no turning back. The abyss does not allow retreats." Reverie's heart thundered in her chest. The choice before her was clear, and yet it was the hardest decision she had ever faced. To stay with the Council would mean to continue resisting the very force that had begun to consume her thoughts. To join the Abyssal Weavers was to abandon all she had known, to risk her very soul in the pursuit of an unknown power. For a long moment, Reverie stood there, her mind racing, torn between fear and fascination. She felt the pull of the abyss, its call louder now than ever before. It was no longer a distant whisper in the back of her mind. It was here, in this room, in these people, offering her the very thing she had been seeking, the key to true transcendence. And with that thought, Reverie took the first step into the darkness. The truth has a voice now, and it will not be silenced. You've just heard Chapter 11 of Mistwoven Legends, The Awakening Dream, an Audible Archives original, written by Raul and narrated by Nayara. If the mists have pulled you deeper into their grasp, like, comment and subscribe, because the next chapter will twist everything you think you know. The awakening isn't coming, it's already here.
Another chapter closes, but the archives remain, waiting for the next seeker of stories. Here, no voice is lost, no tale truly ends. This is Audible Archives. Until we meet again, may your mind wander freely and your heart never forget the stories we share.